students, parents, friends, family, and guests. Welcome everybody to the third annual Reals and Rationals Day. I wanted to talk about one of my epiphanies. A whole is bigger than sum of the parts. This statement is probably true with many things in life, but I am convinced that this is particularly true with learning mathematics. It is really an incredible honor for me that Professor Larry Washington is here with us. He is the professor at University of Maryland in the math department. His area of mathematics is number theory, which, as the name suggests, is about study of numbers and patterns in them. I believe many in the audience must have heard of the famous German mathematician called Gauss, and he famously remarked, mathematics is the queen of sciences and number theory is the queen of mathematics. Professor Washington has a theorem called Ferrero-Washington theorem on his name.
So, thank you very much for the introduction, and it's great to be here. Let's look at cubes. 8 minus 1 is 7, 27 minus 8 is 19, etc. I look at these and I go, wow, these are all prime numbers. And so for about several months, I had this thing, I discovered, wow, this is really cool. Anybody see something wrong with this? Well, I didn't either. Next slide. One of my numbers wasn't prime. Oh dear. Oh, yeah. And to this day, if I come across in some calculation the number 91, a little pain in my heart. Well, let's take an integer, raise it to the 5th power. Let's look at this. There's something pretty neat about the last digit of the answer. Notice when I take like 4 to the 5th power, it ends in a 4. 7 to the 5th power ends in a 7. All of these, when you raise to the 5th power, you end up the same last digit. That's pretty cool. Now, a variation of this method is actually used in practice. That's a very good question. What's the difference between pure math and applied math? I like to say there's pure math, there's applied math, and there's applicable math. Yeah?
How AI is impacting the mathematics field of mathematics?
How's what?
AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh, it does routine tasks very well. When the student was showing me how good the AI was, I said, I'll give it a problem it can't do. Okay, so a lot of you have heard of Goldbach's conjecture. Every even integer starting at 4 is a sum of 2 primes, like 10 is 3 plus 7. Instead of that, I gave it the problem, prove there are infinitely many even integers that are sum of 2 primes. A little bit of a curveball to it. Now it's quite easy. You just take any prime and add 3. And you get infinitely many primes, you get infinitely many p plus 3, so infinitely many even integers sum of 2 primes. AI couldn't come close on it. Because what it did, it saw Goldbach. Its eyes light up and it goes down the Goldbach road and never comes back. So you can fool AI still. Somebody has to have the idea of how to start it. 20 years from now, you could just say, design a car, and it'll design a car. That's because cars have already been designed, but it wouldn't come up with the idea of a car. So thank you for the invitation to speak here, and for all you graduating from this program, Congratulations.
I'm also quite happy that many of the past students are here. And one of the joys of running Reals and Rationals for me has been this continuing association with the past students. Very good. Thank you everybody. Bittersweet moment of the year, which is really celebrate the outgoing students. It's really hard to see the students that have been with us for 5 or 6 years though. But I guess this moment of going out is also a sign of accomplishment. Abhinav. Don't ever be fooled by Abhinav's quiet, nonchalant smile. Well, behind that calm and poise lies a formidable analytical brain. Well, as an adult, Abhinav says he wants to be an engineer and wants to study applied mathematics. Amit is an all-rounder with his feet in many areas. And in mathematics, I see good clarity of thought. Anshika, there is again quietness here, but in that quietness there's a lot of attention to detail. Anshika wants to pursue computer science for a career in technology. Diya, there's great clarity in Diya's work. Once she understands a concept, she understands well. And Diya goes after challenges well also. Mohana always wears a big smile. And that smile always welcomes new challenges. Mohana wants to be a technology entrepreneur, managing a tech company. Raina can melt theorems with her hard work. When things were easy, Raina took more challenge. And when things were not easy, Raina persevered with her hard work. Did you have any thoughts on what you want to become as an adult?
A computer science major.
Alright. Sid is the master of theatre. And when it comes to math, Sid is diligent and hardworking. I suspect theatre will continue to be a big part of Sid's life. He wants to be a singer and a venture capitalist. Tanvi is a curious student, not afraid to ask questions when something is unclear. Tanvi also displays good clarity of expression in her math. Tanvi wants to pursue pre-med and possibly become an emergency medical doctor. It's wonderful for me, to see this, to have seen these students over the years. We have a dance. Pure mathematics is considered an art rather than science. Professor Washington alluded to that fact when he said mathematics is often pursued for just the beauty of it. The dance that we're going to witness is brought to you by Vaishnavi and Isabella. Vaishnavi and Isabella are both currently sophomores in high school. Vaishnavi is the dancer today. Isabella developed the amazing animations that we'll see in a moment, and is also whose voice we'll hear.
The world of mathematics begins with the innocent number. Numbers count what your fingers can't. You add numbers to jump counts and you can multiply or divide them. Numbers aren't all about counting. They measure lengths and areas, and yes, numbers speak volumes. Numbers can be irrational or imaginary, yet they live in harmony. Rationals and irrationals get together to form reals, while real and imaginary form complexes. No wonder it's a privilege to call ourselves reals and rationals. What if you know there is a number, but you just don't know what it is? You use a variable. Variables lead to expressions. And studying expressions in all their glory, that's what algebra is. Variables can be fun, but sometimes lonely, and seek relationships. When x is in a relationship with y, we say y is a function of x. Not all relationships are alike. Some are stable and steady. We call them linear. Some, like the uncontrollable virus over time, shoot up quickly. We call them exponential. Some grow slow, very, very slow. We call them logarithmic. And some travel like the tides, swaying up and down. We call them trigonometric. In a function, if x takes a value, y does too. Well, but sometimes x is 5 and y is not defined. Do we give up? Not quite. We don't mind. We look near x equals 5 from both left and right and find where y is heading in sight. That number approaches bit by bit. We call that the limit. Limit is the foundation of calculus. In calculus, derivatives tell us how fast a function changes. And integrals tell us how much a function builds up. Calculus is not the end of mathematics, it's a step in what could be a journey for life. So, as you learn mathematics, whether you're counting on your fingers or exploring the edge of infinity, keep dancing to its music.
The quiz will be run by Mohana. Mohana is a sophomore.
Next question is for Geometry and Algebra 2 students. So you're given two quadratic equations, given the solutions, and you have to find out what k is equal to. If you rewrite both expressions, the first one can be written as x minus a times x minus b, and that'll equal x squared plus mx plus 12, since you're given the solutions. Same way you can do x minus a, you can rewrite the second one as x minus a times x plus b, and then you know that a times b equals 12, and then a times negative b will equal k. So you can do substitution and look at negative 12. Good job. Yes? $1.05. I'll take that then. So good job to everyone who won. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and you all have a wonderful summer.